What's up? This is Rob Kelly. I'm going to share with you my Wetsuit Quiver. So when I had the opportunity last year to start trying different suits for the first time, I got my hands on pretty much every suit that's out there right now. All the major brands, some of the smaller brands. This suit right here is the reason that I got so sold on BEWET and why I'm so confident with these suits. It's a 4.3 hooded suit, one that I was actually able to use all winter long last year. Maybe one of the coldest days I've ever surfed in my life. The water was right around 32 degrees, the air temperature was in the negatives, and I had just started trying BEWET wetsuits, so I didn't have a 5mm yet, but I was going up to Canada. The swell looked too good to pass up. Kind of reluctant and a little nervous to see how it would perform. I got up there, put on the AGT 4.3 again. It was the coldest session that I can ever remember ever surfing in my life, and I never got cold. Kept me warm through the wind chill, slush in the water. You can look at the footage. It was definitely as cold as you can really get, because any colder and the ocean would just be frozen. But the 4.3 AGT with the smooth skin allowed me to stay warm, and then having that extra paddle power in a 4.3 versus a 5mm blew my mind and kind of made my dream come true of having a 4.3 that I could use all winter on the East Coast. And not only just on the East Coast, but in the Northeast, in the coldest conditions, you can really surf in. Having a good suit, pretty much a necessity. It's kind of life or death. And the fact that this 4.3 AGT was able to get me through a session like that is incredible, and just a testament to the tech and attention to detail that BEWET puts in. And once I had that experience, I was sold that these are 100% the best wetsuits in the world. Being from New Jersey, naturally I need to have a Wetsuit Quiver that covers pretty much every type of water temperature that you can get. The summers are super warm. The winters have some arguably the coldest water that you can really surf in. So, and I'm so psyched on the quiver that I've been able to build with BEWET. All right, I'll start with the wetsuit top. What's really cool about BEWET, you can sort of customize the thicknesses however you want. I wanted to get a top that was like a little bit more substantial than the normal sort of wetsuit jackets that you can find in the surf shop. So I went with a 3.2. So it's actually a proper wetsuit top. It's not just for rashes and kind of sun protection with a little bit of warmth. Having a custom fitted top, even though you would think that with the full suits and the winter suits, having that custom fit would be more important in that realm. It's actually really nice having it in the top, because I have a super warm top that's pretty watertight, and I can feel the difference in that. In conditions where I might start jumping into a short arm or a 3.2, I can get away with using my top pretty much late into the fall. After that, I jump into one of my favorite suits in the line, the 1.5mm short arm. Honestly, it feels like you're not even wearing a wetsuit with this thing. It's in S60, so it's like super flexible. That gives me the ability to design a colorway whichever way you want. I love this wetsuit, mostly because it feels like you're literally not wearing anything. The 1.5mm is insane. And what you'll notice in my quiver sort of across the board just went down 1mm on every suit. So traditionally my short arms would be 2 or 3.2s. This I can get away with a 1.5, and it feels just as warm as 2mm or 3mm short arm would be, but as flexible as a 1.5 is. So the same amount of warmth with a lot more flexibility. So next up, once we start getting into those fall days where the mornings are sort of colder but the water's still a little warm, this is my first full suit, and it's a 2mm. Like I said, normally my first full suit for the last 20 years was a 3.2, but it's awesome to have a 2mm, so that transition from top, short arm to your full suit isn't as drastic. Again, this 2mm feels like you're still not really wearing a wetsuit, which is nice. Then from there, once we start to getting a little deeper into the fall, the mornings start to get colder, the water starts to drop, I have my 3.2. Again, this thing kind of feels like the warmth of a 4.3, but with the flexibility of a 3.2. And actually it almost even feels a little lighter than that because of this S60 material that BEWET uses. It's really flexible, really lightweight. but still super warm. All right, so my wetsuit top, short arm, 2 mil, 3.2, that can pretty much get me in water temperatures, you know, from in the 70s all the way down to like upper 50s. Once the temperature starts going below, you know, 55, that's when I transition to the AGT. And this is that proprietary material technology that makes BEWET suits just a level up over anything else I've ever tried. And you can feel it as soon as you put it on. It's this yellow material right here. Not only is it crazy warm, but it's super comfortable. It's almost like wearing a pair of pajamas or something. It's almost like a fleece-lined thing. But this material right here is what makes these suits incredibly warm, like nothing I've ever experienced. This 3.2 keeps me warm in what would normally be kind of like conditions when I want to start going into a 4 mil, almost even a 5 mil. So with this AGT, again, you can pretty much millimeter down, and that's when you really start to feel the difference between the warmth and flexibility. I swear this 3.2 feels like a 4.3, almost like a hoodless 5 mil if they made them. But again, still has that flexibility of a proper 3.2. So just having the ability to use a wetsuit, you know, 1-2 millimeters thinner than I normally would, I feel like I can see that in the performance, you know, just in paddling. My sessions are longer, I'm catching more waves, and sometimes, you know, the difference between catching the wave in the winter and missing it, you know, could be a difference of like 2 or 3 feet. So every little bit of paddle power helps. When I realized that, that's when the light bulb sort of went off in my head, and that's when I was like, that these suits are gonna make me surf better and help me surf longer and stay warmer. And that's when I really realized it, especially trying the AGT for the first time. All right, now we'll go into the full-blown winter suit. I kind of talked about this 4.3. Again, this is like a miracle suit, the dream suit for me. A 4.3 that I can use all winter long in the coldest conditions. You live in the Northeast or anywhere else that's cold where you need a proper winter suit. This literally is the best winter suit in the world. This thing will get you as cold as the water can get before it turns into ice. When I was in Nova Scotia, you know, the water was hovering right around that freezing mark, and actually when we paddled out, we were breaking ice to get out to the lineup because the inside was already frozen. So you literally can't surf in water any colder than what I surfed this in that one session in Nova Scotia. And the fact that this 4.3 lasted me, and you know, there was other surfers that I were with that were in 5 mils and 6 mils, they had to go in because they got cold. You know, I stayed out till dark and was warm when I came in, trudging through the ice and dodging ice spurts to get in. So I'm confident you can push this 4.3 as cold as water possibly gets. And that's proven by the fact that my 5 mil here, the same technology with the AGT, still has the tags on it. That's because I didn't even use it last year. And last winter was like one of the coldest winters that I can remember. And I have a brand new 5 mil still here with the tags on because the 4.3 was so warm. Why would I even need to jump up to a 5 mil? This thing was so loose and flexible. It's as warm as it needed to be. So I have this thing in the quiver. I don't know where I'll use it. Maybe like the Great Lakes or if I go to Antarctica or something. But you know, for someone that gets colder a little bit easier, I feel like the 5 mil with the AGT, you know, is as warm or warmer than you'll ever need. And again, I tried it on. I haven't surfed with it. It's still so light and flexible. So if you're ever going on a mission to Antarctica, Alaska, I don't know, Mars, maybe you need a 5 mil. I don't need it yet because the 4 mil was enough for me. But yeah, just another testament to how warm the suits are. So yeah, that 5 mil I never wore because I never needed it. This one is in S60 tech. That gives you the ability to sort of customize it. The Eagles had just won the Super Bowl when I was designing this suit, so I was fired up to get a little Eagles color with my custom numbskulls hit and the Eagles font. Just super fun designing this suit. And because this is an S60, it doesn't have the AGT. You can design the colorways however you want. So this suit's super fun to kind of throw on. I kind of bounce back and forth between the 4.3, you know, my favorite suit, And this, just when I want to mix it up in the colors, or if it's a crowded lineup and I kind of want to make sure that the photographers can see me, I'll throw this on. But again, as far as a 5mm goes in the S60, it kind of feels like a comp suit, and it's still warm. Before trying BEWETs, I heard from a couple people that once you wear a custom fitted wetsuit, you can never go back. I didn't pay much attention to it, knowing that I had to kind of wear the suits that I had to wear. But now, after getting measured and trying a custom fitted wetsuit, that statement couldn't be any more true. And yeah, I can totally see the truth behind once you try a custom fitted suit, you can never go back. It's crazy how much more comfortable, how much more flexible it is. During the process, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of a wetsuit nerd, but it's awesome to see, they come out, measure you with over 30 different measurements. They actually, do some things that I didn't expect, where they actually kind of add a little bit of looseness in spots where traditionally I thought you wanted just like the most tightest form-fitting wetsuit, and that was kind of the best fit. But I've learned going through this process that there's a lot more that goes into it. But being from the East Coast, having a good wetsuit is not only a luxury, it's a necessity. And whether you're a pro surfer, or a dad that doesn't have as much time to surf and wants to capitalize every minute they have, it's so worth the extra value to sort of get a custom fit, one that's going to allow you to surf longer, paddle faster, and be warm the whole time.